Big shots, big costs. We've got a new woman in our lives. Yes, we do. She comes with a big barrel that chucks big shots. She's a fancy girl, though, and she doesn't come cheap. If you're willing to wait for her to show up, that's a good 12 hours. And pay her legal fees, that's a cool $32K. She'll show up and demonstrate how a good Scandinavian girl smashes a man right down into Norway's good green dirt. Today, we're talking about Ramona. Today, we are going to briefly cover the good, the venerable, the Remy 870. Welcome to Norway. You are in the drop zone, and I am JealousFist. Yes, I am. And today, we're talking tactics, which allow you to outthink, outplay, and outperform your opposition. This tactics, I'll be breaking up into two sections. This first part is going to be covering what I feel is the bad parts of the Remy, and the second part will be covering what I feel are her good points. I'm going to try and keep all of this brief and to the point. The bad. The one thing that really comes to mind for me about the bad qualities of Ramona are it's hard to pop in and out of cover and timing the shots when you're fighting a guy. Getting that shot to time correctly, getting the gun to shoot right as you come out of cover and then popping back in with the pump action just feels strange to me. It feels hard to time it. When you're shooting with an automatic weapon, you don't really have to think about that. You're just kind of concentrating on controlling recoil and not getting shot, popping in and out, but the high rate of fire just gets those rounds out where they need to be in the time they need to be because they're all just coming out so fast, one after the other after the other. The shotgun is not like that. You come out of cover, boom, hop back into cover, pop out of cover, boom. It's hard to get the timing right. It's strange to me. The Remy takes forever to reload as well. It takes 4.69 seconds to reload 7 shells. And if you're going to reload the full 8, that's 7.61 seconds. As a quick comparison, to reload 30 rounds in your M16, that's 2.07 seconds. So it's a long time to reload her. Also, her range is extremely limited. About 2 up to 15-20 meters, she is absolutely deadly. I mean, completely lethal, especially if they're not wearing armor. You just hit them once in the chest and they are done. And if they're not done, you just get unlucky or they've got armor. You hit them with that first shell, they are messed up, their armor is gone, and most likely they're in that stun animation, so they are completely wide open for your second and follow-up shot, which is great. I do love that. 20 to 40 meters, she's very good. 2 to 3 shots, of course, depending on your internet connection and whatever the other guy's got going on the other side of you. And then 45 to 70 meters to 80 meters, good luck. At around 40 to 50 meters, you can get hits on them. You will get hit markers, but I've hit people like 5 times at those distances, and they are just looking at me like I just said something mean to them. They might not even know they got hit. They might have just felt the sting of my foul language. They just keep moving on. They shrug that right off. Anything past 80 meters as well, just nothing. You will hit nothing. It's no good. Another bad thing, the costs. She is very, very expensive. She's 32,000 materials to pay for her, and then it's a 12-hour wait, so that's not good either. And then as well, tying into that is the availability of this new weapon. She is very rare in-game. The only places I've found her are in the Bard House, and that's not as often as you'd think. Every now and then you'll get one Remy part out of the time safe or the container, but not a lot, and especially not in the time safe. They seem to have nerfed the time safes rewards this season. Also, she's not available in crates, it seems like. I think the devs are just incentivizing people spending crowns to boost the crafting times, to cut the crafting times. If you want to do that, that's your money. I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, because I mean, you do what you want to do with your money. I would recommend against that though, purely because that is not a good investment over time. Past results are an indicator of future performance. They will nerf this gun, so you'd literally be spending money to have an awesome gun for the next few weeks, then they'll nerf it, and that money will not have been well invested. So I just would not do that. I would not boost the crafting times at all, because they will nerf this. I mean, I don't know that. I have no special knowledge or anything like that, but I just don't see them leaving this gun this awesome for that long. Moving on to the good. Touched on this briefly before, but Ramona, she is just absolutely devastating up close. She is lethal. If your aim is good and you're hitting them within 15-20 meters, almost always that first shot will put them down. And if it doesn't, the second shot definitely will, because they're going to be stunned and wide open for that second one. And if somehow you get unlucky and did not get that stun animation, they're going to be really, really messed up. This gun is also very easy to shoot, with the spread of the pellets not being too tight or too dispersed, too spread out. She's just easy to shoot. She's a fun shooter. It's a little easier to lead people because of the spray of the pellets. And it feels like if you just get those 4 reticles around the guy, you're hitting them. You almost don't even really have to aim. Just point this gun at them and just pull the trigger and they die. That's awesome. I love that. People are scared of the Remy. That in and of itself can make fights easier. Many times I've had guys come into contact with me and then I take one shot at them, and as soon as they hear that thunderous rapport of Ramona, they just run away, or they get so nervous they start playing stupid. And you may be saying, Jealous, well, how do you know they got nervous and they're playing stupid? Well, you know, I play a lot. I play a lot of these guys. A lot of these people, I know how they play. We've crossed swords many times. I know how they react and what they do, and they are running from this thing. They are running. Outstanding. I love that. Also, another great thing about Ramona is if you are even a halfway decent shooter, fairly accurate, or if you're just a fairly accurate shooter, you can take on multiple people with this gun easily, especially if they're close to you. It seems like 8 shots is not enough, right? But if you're landing those shots, a lot of times these people are just dying if you hit them once. And a lot of times when you take on multiple people, they do tend to get too close to you. Usually that works out, but if you know what to do, them getting too close to you in combination with this devastating weapon, you can just put them down. Just boom, dead, boom, dead, boom, dead. If you're hitting your shots, you can take a shot, a guy can die. You can run over to cover, reload that one shot, take on another guy. Or say you're taking on a trio. If you make all your shots, you could kill 3 people potentially with 3 trigger pulls, maybe even 4 or 5, right? And then you'll still have 2 to 3 in the tube, depending on what your status of your weapon was when that fight started, for the guy who inevitably tries to third party you and shoot you in the back. You'll be good to go. Another good thing about her, though this is kind of silly, is I just love how she sounds in the game. Go run around Kirsten, you'll see what I mean. Get in one of those valleys with that, and out in some wide open. Fight in one of those little shallow valleys or in a little ravine. Take one shot at a dude. Listen to the echoes and the reverberations as that rapport just spreads out and into the map. I just love her. She sounds so mean. Oh, the devs have done such a good job with all the audio in this game, haven't they? What did we learn about the Remy? I feel like we learned that she's expensive and hard to obtain, and she has limited range, but she is lethal, devastating, killer up close. She's arguably, in my opinion right now, currently with the way the game is, the best close quarters combat weapon in the game. In fact, that might not even be arguable. Somebody would argue it. It's the internet. But I'm going to say she's probably the best. Who is this gun for? Well, obviously the gun is for everyone. Anyone that has a trigger finger that is itchy, this gun is for you, of course. Vigor monsters will love this gun. She's just got such a powerful punch. She's so dangerous, right? So I know the monsters will love it. Though I would think they would be better off right now with something full auto and a scope, because that is just your general all-purpose death machine, right? Whatever the gun with the scope that is the best and the lowest recoil generally is your best go-to gun for everything and all comers. Though, of course, the real killers and monsters, well, they will just love and seek the novelty of this new gun. But, circling back, who do I think this gun is the best for? Well, you guys won't like this. I think that the Remy is actually probably the best for campers, right? If you like to go and make the world a bad place, if you just saw the Toxic Avenger and you're like, I want to be like that, but bad. I want to be the Toxic Avenger, but evil. This gun is probably for you. You could just get into a house and just point it at the door. That door opens. If they just walk into it, you just pull that trigger, they're dead. You're an exit camper. You're one of these horrible exit crabs that makes Norway and the real world a worse place. Well, this gun is great for you too. They hear those crows. They're looking around. Where's this guy? Where is he? I don't know where he is. Boom. Remy to the face. Ramona will put him down. I hate to encourage that kind of stuff, but You don't need to aim with this thing. Most campers are not good shots. They cannot handle their weapons, either because they're campers and don't get enough practice, or because they just can't really shoot, so they have to go and hide and wait for people. This is the gun for them. You set up somewhere where they can't see you, you have good hard cover, you pop out with this shotgun and they are done. As long as you hit them with a decent amount of those pellets with that buckshot, they're either going to die outright or they're in the stun and are set up perfectly for you to get that second follow-up shot into their face. Probably not a popular take on that, but I would be very surprised if in the next coming weeks, as more people get their hands on these shotguns, we don't see a lot of exit crabs and ne'er-do-wells rocking these things. And if that doesn't happen, they'll definitely be using the Spaz 12. Because the Spaz, this purple shotgun, she is fantastic right now. Almost as good as the Remy. Shoots a little faster, not quite as hard hitting, but might be better just because of cost and bang for your buck. As always, I am your #1 airdrops retrieved, 11,000 and counting, all time, all systems, and your favorite official Vigor partner, JealousFist. Bye.